On today's show,
My Little Pony,
Unicorn Fruit Loops,
and Rebecca Dart
on Saturday Morning Cartoon Crunch.
Saturday Morning Cartoon Crunch.
Thank you, Rebecca, for coming to Saturday Morning Cartoon Crunch.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
We're not going to remark in any way about the way Rob's dressed today. Rebecca, you were character designer on the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series.
Yeah, starting on season 2.
Wow.
And I did character designs for a few seasons on that, and I came back on season 5 to art direct.
Nice.
Yes.
And you were the art director on the My Little Pony the movie as well.
Yes, I was.
That's amazing.
It is.
How did you get into animation?
I first started working back in the day in 1997. I worked at a small company called Delaney and Friends, working on a show called Nihilus the Sandman.
Called what, the Sandman?
Nihilus.
Nihilus the Sandman.
That sounds super familiar.
Yeah, not Nihilist the Sandman.
That would be interesting.
That would be
too.
good. And then we also worked on a show called The Littlest Angel.
And what were your duties on those?
I was a layout artist,
Okay.
so I was drawing backgrounds
Cool.
for individual shots.
And did you watch My Little Pony when you were younger?
I actually didn't watch it very much when
Yeah.
I was younger because it was kind of by the time it came out, I was maybe a little bit too old for it.
Right.
Because I'm that old myself. But I was definitely aware of it.
Right.
I was definitely aware of it.
Did you ever have any My Little Ponies growing up?
I didn't. I had there's a company called Breyer, and they had these like more realistic horse.
My cousin had some of those.
Yeah, I had a huge collection of those, but I was a total horse crazy young
Right.
girl. So, but I didn't have any specific My Little Pony. So.
Did you put that on your resume for when you got hired for My Little Pony that I'm totally into horses?
I should have. I really should have.
On some pony-shaped stationery.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
I was reading
Lots of glitter.
I was reading about the history of My Little Pony, and apparently when they first pitched the dolls, people high up in the toy company were like, "Girls don't like horses. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that is not true.
No, yes. I think every serious girlfriend I've ever had has like ridden horses growing up and been horse crazy. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's like half a ton of quivering flesh between your legs is, is what I've heard.
And easily bribed with apples.
Yes, exactly.
Well, maybe we should mention that the original series, My Little Pony and Friends, ran from 1986 to 1987. It was a Sunbow Marvel production. They also did G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yes.
So it fit right in there, the My Little Pony. Based on the 1981 toys created by the designer Bonnie Zackerly. And the series came out shortly after My Little Pony the movie, like as in the same year.
So you helped design a lot of the characters, and that was second season. Was that when the Discord showed up?
I believe Discord was even from the first season.
Okay. I think he was freed from Stone in the second, or one of the seasons. I'm not sure.
Who's Discord?
Yeah, who is Discord?
Discord is as a character, he resembles mostly a dragon, but
Right.
he's actually made from different parts.
Right, he looks kind of like a chimera kind of a creature.
Yeah,
when I
he's
saw
got a
him.
hoof and a paw and a talon, and he was sort of like the trickster god. He's god of chaos.
Yeah.
And
Appropriately voiced by John Delancey, who was the trickster god in Star Trek The Next Generation as Q.
yeah, when Lauren Faust recreated the show in the latest generation, she was like a huge John Delancey fan, and she created the character to kind of based on Q a little bit, and they were trying to figure out who would voice this character, and they said, well, let's just get John Delancey, and he agreed.
Sure.
And
I've heard they like subtract the bass from his voice to make him less scary.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of that, but I wouldn't doubt
Does
it.
John Delancey know about that?
I don't know. I just read it on
Has he ever watched
I was
any of
reading
the
trivia
episodes?
sites.
I wonder. The newer incarnation of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Friendship is magic.
What does that mean? Is friendship magic?
What kind of magic?
Is it an actual? Is it some kind of magical thing? Because I watched a few episodes. I
Yeah.
watched like 4 episodes, or at least parts of episodes, and I watched the movie as well, which I
Yeah.
enjoyed. And there's friendship is a big theme
It
in
is.
the whole thing.
It's
So what's
the
the
overall
basic
thing.
storyline?
The basic storylines, we have 6. They're called the Main 6, MANE.
Oh.
Characters, Twilight Sparkle, there's Fluttershy, there's Rainbow Dash, there's Applejack, there's Rarity. and there's
Sleepy.
Sleepy. And of course, there's...
Doc.
I'm just
Did we say Twilight
oh my
Sparkle
God,
already?
I'm going to get in so much trouble.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be death threats.
There's going to be that. It's because I'm nervous in front of cameras that I'm totally brain farting. But
It's the pink one. Yeah.
Pinkie Pie, of course. Pinkie
There.
Pie.
So Spike, the little dragon guy, isn't one of the 6?
No.
I guess it's
He's
'cause
kind of like the mascot.
He's a dragon. They're dragonist.
He
probably.
is Twilight Sparkle's technically like his assistant.
Okay.
She hatched him as her first magical task,
Okay.
which I believe is actually from the original series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't Spike supposed to be like one of the longest? Even though he's the youngest, he's like the longest running character. Isn't
He was from the original series, yeah.
Oh.
And he's a dragon without wings. That's his
Oh,
thing.
that sucks. To him. So he's basically
He's a worm.
he's physically challenged.
Yeah.
How very progressive.
Other voice actors on the series, we could mention Tara Strong plays Twilight Sparkle, and she was Buttercup in the Powerpuff Girls. Patton Oswalt played a character called Quibble Pants.
He tweeted about, it was actually characters that I had designed for an episode where I put Big Lebowski. It took place in a bowling alley.
Oh, okay.
And I designed Big Lebowski ponies to be in the background. And he tweeted about that.
Right.
He was like, oh, it's cool watching My Little Pony, and there's Big Lebowski ponies. One of the directors contacted him through Twitter saying, hey, I heard you're a fan.
Right.
I want to be on the show. And that's how, that's how we got him. So,
Most importantly, what is your favorite pony?
one of my favorite ponies, there's a bunch of senior ponies I designed that
Like old person ponies.
like old person ponies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Geriatric ponies.
Not just with like more seniority.
Yeah, exactly, like old person. And there was like one, I can't remember his name either all of a sudden. But he's got big, thick glasses and a bald head, and I was like, he was always one of my favorites.
Do you do, as a designer, do you do like a lot of shows will have the behind the scenes people in the show? Have you ever done characters based on any of the people in charge? Or?
I think that happened in the first season.
Right.
And it actually kind of became a bit of an issue, and we could no longer do that.
Oh,
actually.
Interesting.
Because like when you design an OC, an original character, Hasbro owns it.
Oh,
You
right.
can't like.
You don't want them to. You don't want Hasbro owning your likeness, even as a pony.
Yeah.
No.
Or you cannot use that. in
Right.
Ponies, but so.
So you said you got asked a lot. What was your favorite pony?
Yeah.
Do you go to like BronyCons and stuff like that?
I've been to. Used to be one locally that was held in Richmond, which is a suburb of Vancouver.
Right.
And I went to a couple of those. I've been to Fan Expo a couple of times, and I remember one time I went to Fan Expo, and there was a couple girls dressed in cosplay of a character I designed, Queen Chrysalis.
Oh, wow.
She's a villain.
That must have been nice.
So I went up to them, and it was really well done. And I was like, "Oh my God, you guys are so beautiful! It's like you're Queen Chrysalis." And it's like, "Oh, I designed the character Queen Chrysalis." And she started crying.
You're so mean. Why would you do
yeah. After I slapped her.
I know.
Did you take her lunch money?
Yeah, and I kicked her in the shins, and
Yeah.
I left. But no, it was very sweet. It's actually very sweet to meet the fans.
Did you know? I was looking it up, and now the adult male fans are called bronies, but
Yes.
the adult female fans get the way better name of Pegasisters.
Yeah,
Which is actually
Pegas sisters.
Yeah, because
Sweet.
bro is not necessarily the nicest term.
Yeah, not anymore.
No.
Felicia Day also did a voice for a character called Pear Butter,
Yes.
and Weird Al played a character named Cheese Sandwich.
Oh,
Yeah, the director at the time, Jason Thiessen, was a huge Weird Al fan, and he actually personally knew Weird Al, and
Wow.
was able to talk to him and bring him on as a cheese
fantastic.
sandwich. So.
That's awesome.
And did he direct the movie as well?
Yes, he did.
Not Weird Al, but
No,
Jason.
yes. Cheese Sandwich does make a cameo. He doesn't talk. But He
Oh.
does make a cameo in the movie.
What was the difference between working on the series and the movie?
Night and day. It was very different. We had to pretty much start from scratch, and
You couldn't use any of the assets because they were not the right format?
Yeah,
or...
the show is animated in a program called Flash,
Yeah.
and we
Oh, wow.
switched to Toon Boom Harmony for the movie.
Okay.
So it's a much more robust animation program.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do like these crazy turnarounds with like 20 positions of the
Yeah.
characters and stuff like that to get that more kind of 3D kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
there was a lot of the main villain, Tempest,
Yeah.
something.
Tempest Shadow.
Tempest Shadow, she would like lift her nose up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't really see a lot of in even any other cartoons.
That was
like,
really
you know,
hard.
Yeah.
too.
Like she has a chin, no, she doesn't have a chin. And it looked really great.
Our DP, our incredibly talented DP, Anthony Danino, liked his upshots a lot. And
Right.
I had to say, please. They look weird from chin up shots. So I was like, if you could please limit those.
Just for the most dramatic of moments. Yeah.
Especially because we had to draw there was a shot of the princesses. It was kind of a dramatic upshot. And it was just like, that took hours to try to draw them.
Wow.
And make them look right.
There is a D&D episode, Dungeons of Discord.
Yeah.
Which is the first episode I watched, thanks to Torrin telling me to watch it, ordering me to watch it. Did you have any part in that one?
I believe that was season 7?
5?
Or
Might have
6?
6.
6. That was it. Yeah. I started out working on season 6. I art directed the first couple of episodes before going on to the movie, so I knew that one was coming up, but I personally did not work on that one.
You had already been
episode.
moved on to
Onto
the
the
film, right?
yeah.
Oh, you missed out. That episode was fantastic. Anything
Yeah,
about
it's
D&D,
good.
I'm just like,
Well, Jim Miller, who's now the supervising director of the TV show, is a huge D&D fan, so he was
awesome.
like, and I think we're all nerds
Yeah.
working in the industry. So
What?
it's like-
How dare you?
So yeah.
Any other shows you worked on that you really loved or was excited to be a part of? Or...
I worked on a show in the late 90s called Mission Hill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I know some I'm not a Mission Hill diehard fan, but I do know some people who are like...
Yeah, that's probably the only other show that I've worked on that gets as much recognition, I would say. I was a layout artist for that. That was actually one of the last shows that actually was cell painted. It did color.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
I remember there was an episode in Mission Hill that takes place in a comic book convention or sci-fi convention.
Right.
And there's like this down shot. We were doing layout and posing, so we would draw on characters as well. And there was a down shot, and I think it was like 50 nerds. And I remember I drew a bunch of my friends
Right.
in that.
Yeah.
So there is
Ah.
so if we go back to that, I can probably point out some of my friends in that shot.
growing up, what were your favorite cartoons?
Growing up, as a kid, I loved Thundar the Barbarian. It's one of my faves. A post-apocalyptic show about a barbarian world
Yeah.
for kids.
Very much a Star Wars
Yeah.
ripoff.
Yes, very much
Yeah.
Star Wars ripoff. I watched also a lot of Looney Tunes, before they were edited and
Right.
before they even cared what they were. So we saw
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of things that were very questionable at the
Yeah.
time. I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo. There used to be a Zorro cartoon I loved.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
Batman Zorro Adventure Hour kind
Yeah,
of thing. as
I tended
recall,
to kind of lean more towards the adventure cartoons as a kid, and then later on, in like sort of junior high age, I watched a lot of the Real Ghostbusters
Yep.
and Robotech.
Nice.
Awesome.
So.
Well, speaking of adventure, should we take the Unicorn Fruit Loops adventure?
If we
Apparently
dare,
I'm plugging them right now. So.
Let's see what it's all about.
let's do it.
Okay.
So,
We'll just start.
Unicorn Fruit Loops.
Unicorn Fruit Loops. What can you say? They're. Let's find out if they're fruity. They're definitely loopy. Ooh. Do they pass the smell test?
They smell like normal Fruit Loops, which I actually find hopeful. I haven't liked a lot of the weird cereals we've had.
They kind of smell like nothing to me.
They smell like what Fruit Loops smell like.
All right.
I don't know. I haven't had Fruit Loops in a decade.
It smells like friendship.
They smell a little
so
like
they're-
friendship.
They're magic. Then.
Magic.
I see 3 colors. And are they bigger than regular Fruit Loops?
They look bigger than.
They're unicorn big.
These are actually from Germany. These came on a plane. What do you call unicorns in German? I feel like that should be somewhere in the box, but
Probably something scary sounding.
we'll look that up. We'll put that on the screen.
So, I've wanted to ask you, since you're the art director for My Little Ponies, can you describe to me what the gritty, dark reboot of My Little Ponies that they're going to do in 5 years is going to be like?
Oh man, I don't know if I should. Well, I think there's been enough fan fiction. I don't know if you've seen the Fallout Equestria, that the Fallout video game. It's one of the biggest fan fictions, I believe, that's out there. It's huge.
So basically, it's the world of Fallout and My Little Pony.
My Little Pony together, and I think there's
dark.
fan fiction in something like 80 chapters or something.
Wow.
It's
I thought for a second there was like a Fallout mod where you can play like the
I don't know.
My Little Pony
Maybe.
character.
Buying medics from a pony.
I'd try that.
There's tons of art. There's lots of animation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like.
So what do we think about these unicorn Fruit Loops?
Kind of taste like sugar cookies. I mean.
They certainly have these kind of pastel colors. They're not like.
Yeah.
But they don't.
There's yellow, pink, and purple.
No discernible flavor, really.
Yeah, really
Bland.
taste different than regular Fruit Loops.
Yeah, I prefer regular Fruit Loops to unicorn Fruit Loops.
Yeah, no, these don't taste like regular Fruit Loops. I'm really sad.
The question we always ask, would you rather watch another episode of My Little Pony or eat another bowl of this particular cereal?
I definitely go for more My Little Pony over
I would
cereal.
go for My Little Pony as well.
Well, I've seen most of the episodes. And I never get sugary cereal. But I would still like to watch an episode of My Little Pony.
Like to watch, nice. Question, what are cutie marks?
Cutie marks are the symbols on the hindquarters of the ponies. They get them when they sort of discover their destiny.
Oh, okay.
It's almost... There's these characters in the show called the Cutie Mark Crusaders. And their whole sort of goal in life was to get their cutie marks. It was sort of... It's almost like puberty in a way.
Okay.
That they sort of wanted to grow up and get there. And they did in season 5. An interesting fact about cutie marks is they're actually based on a real life thing called a quarter mark, which is in horse racing, they would put a stencil on the horse's rear end and they would brush the fur in the opposite direction to show that it was healthy. The horse was healthy.
Not as cruel as a branding.
No. And so it would make a pattern on the hindquarters, and it was called a quarter mark.
Oh, it's a cutie mark.
And then for the show, they turned it to a cutie mark.
What's your cutie mark?
I have tattoos. Does that count?
That's sure.
Do you have any personal projects or any? I know that you made Battle Kittens.
Battle Kittens, yes.
What is
which
Battle
I
Kittens?
have the sketchbook and the T-shirt because look at it, it's amazing.
I started working on a Battle Kittens graphic novel. And
How soon?
I don't know. That's the problem, and I haven't been able to like really touch it at all because I was working on the feature film, and I kind of like that took up all my time and energy.
As one would imagine.
It might be a little too early to talk about this, but I'm sort of talking with a friend about maybe an animated short. So, but we're still like in the sort of think tank stage of that.
That's fantastic.
So, and an interesting fact that unicorns in the Battle Kittens universe are the enemies.
Nice.
They're the predators.
Nice.
So
kitten eating unicorns. I'm into it.
yeah.
Nice.
Stepping on cats.
Yeah.
And you actually brought this lovely art book.
Yeah, we came out with the Art of My Little Pony, the movie. I don't know, let's just show that there.
Here, just hold it up like in that space next to you.
There. And I'm very proud of it. It was all the concept art from the feature film.
Wow. So you got a bunch of stuff in there.
We got a bunch of stuff, and a lot of the stuff that didn't make the movie. So a lot of like early concepts and a lot of behind the scenes. And you don't even have to be a fan of My Little Pony to like it if you're just an art fan or an animation fan. We have some like really divergent art styles. I know you guys are big D&D fans.
Right.
So we have Scott Prescott, who's a D&D artist.
Oh, that's cool.
Has a bunch of art in there.
Wow.
So
I do always find the stuff that didn't make the cut to be more interesting.
Yeah,
Or at
yeah.
least, yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like when I look at art of books, I'm much more interested in what didn't make it and then what did. It's like it's really interesting to see the process.
Cool.
That's excellent. Yeah, and actually I have to say the colors and the art style for My Little Pony is great. Like it's just so visually pretty. Like,
Yeah. I think that's appeal of one of the show, and I also think the songs are a big appeal. The music.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, how much? Because I watched some episodes, and some of the episodes I watched did not have any songs in them. So did that come later, or is it like an intermittent thing, or is it a budgetary thing?
I think it's mostly a budgetary thing. They could only have 6 songs per season or something like that.
Okay.
Something along those lines. I think they got more as the seasons progressed. But Daniel Ingram has been the song creator and music creator since the beginning. And he did all of the music for the feature film as well.
Oh, and then Sia did a song at the end of the
Yeah,
movie as well,
yeah,
which
yeah.
surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got to design her pony.
Yeah, that's
And,
awesome. Because she's got her trademark face covering
Yeah.
hair thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And you know, we asked her like, "What do you want for your cutie mark?" And she says, "I want a rainbow, I want heart, and I want a cloud, and I want rain."
Wow.
Like, okay, so I did 5 versions based on that theme, and then she picked her favorite one.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
It's been a blast.
It has.
We learned about unicorn Fruit Loops.
We did.
Yeah, we sure did.
And a lot of other great stuff.
And for those of you watching, you should check out Battle Kittens.
Battle
Sorry, no.
Kittens?
Battle Kittens.
Do you have a Tweeter or
I do.
a Facebooker or any of that kind of stuff?
I'm on Twitter, mostly. I have an Instagram account that I barely use, but I'm R_Dart on Twitter. I mostly tweet about art and animation, weird plants, and old movies.
Nice.
So if you like any of those things, you know, give me a follow.
All right, thanks. And
Excellent.
we'll see you on the internet.
I don't want any more of these.
No. They go kind of
Yeah. Ooh.
slimy after a while.
Oh, I want to try it.
No, I'm...